All right, let's dive into something pretty amazing today. We're talking about a huge breakthrough in how we understand our own immune systems. Turns out there's a kind of memory switch inside us that could completely change how we treat a whole bunch of diseases.
I mean, have you ever really thought about it? You get the flu once, and for years your body is ready for it. But how? How does your body actually remember an invader it fought off months or even years ago? It's a question that has been a real head-scratcher for scientists. Well, a big part of the answer is something called innate immune memory. This is all about your body's frontline troops, the first responder cells. They have this incredible ability to remember a past fight, which lets them come back stronger and way faster if that same enemy dares to show up again. But that just led to an even bigger mystery. You see, a cell is a busy, constantly changing place. Things break down, proteins get replaced, so how on earth could a memory last in that environment? What was the secret? That's the puzzle a team at UCLA decided to crack. So, to really get our heads around this, we need to meet the key players in this whole microscopic drama. First up, let's talk about those first responders. These are the cells that are always on the lookout, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. And here's our star player, the macrophage. The easiest way to think about these guys is like they're the patrol officers of your body. They're a super important part of your immune system, just constantly cruising through your tissues looking for trouble.
And their to-do list is pretty intense. They patrol for threats, they spot the bad guys like microbes, they literally eat and destroy them, and then they blast out a signal to call for backup from the rest of the immune army. Yeah, they're kind of a big deal.
Now, a macrophage doesn't just go into attack mode on its own. It needs a signal. And a really important one is this molecule right here, interferon gamma, or IFN gamma for short. You can think of it like the big red alarm button that tells the macrophages, okay, it's go time, get ready. So when that IFN gamma alarm goes off, the macrophage does something incredible. It literally starts to unwrap parts of its own DNA. This opens up these enhancer regions, basically getting hundreds of its defense genes primed and ready to go. This is the physical change, right there in the DNA, that creates the immune memory. But remember our big question, how does that memory stick around? This is where the UCLA team had their light bulb moment. They found memory's secret ingredient. Okay, so this is a huge deal. For a long time, the thinking was that once a macrophage was trained, it was a permanent change, something locked inside the cell for good. But the new discovery, it flips that whole idea on its head. The memory isn't permanent at all. It actually needs a constant nagging signal from the outside to keep it going. The study's lead author, Dr. Alexander Gorin, used a fantastic analogy. He said the initial infection kind of stains the surrounding tissue with these signaling molecules. And it's that lingering stain that keeps the macrophages on high alert. So the memory isn't just in the cell, it's in the neighborhood too. And the experiment they ran to prove this was just beautiful in its simplicity. First, they gave macrophages that IFN gamma signal to create the memory state. Then they added a drug that just blocked that signal from being heard. And what happened? Poof. The macrophage's memory was gone. They packed their DNA back up and totally forgot their training. As the senior author, Dr. Alexander Hoffman, pointed out, this means the memory state can be reversed with a drug. It can be pharmacologically erased. It's not a permanent tattoo. It's more like writing on a whiteboard that can be wiped clean. And that changes everything. Which brings us to the most exciting part, the very real possibility of rewriting harmful memories that are already programmed into our immune systems. So why is being able to erase this memory such a game changer? Well, because in a lot of autoimmune diseases, this memory system is exactly what's causing the problem. It goes haywire and you get these hyper-alert macrophages that start attacking the body's own healthy cells by mistake. And we're not talking about minor issues here. This research opens up the door to potential new therapies for really serious conditions like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and type 1 diabetes, all diseases where these confused macrophages are a major part of the problem. So here's the bottom line. If we can block that constant staining signal, we could potentially wipe out the harmful memory that's driving the disease. We might be able to tell those overactive immune cells to just stand down, giving us a completely new angle for treatment. And really, it all leads to this mind-blowing question. This discovery isn't just about erasing a bad memory, it's about gaining control. It shifts our whole view of immune memory from being this fixed, unchangeable thing to an active, ongoing process. A process that maybe, just maybe,
we can learn to reprogram.